You don't have to do this. Really, you don't have to do this.
Sona, I want to go with you.
I did a bad thing, okay? Victoria, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
I'm gonna take the baby because we need your help.
Thanks, everybody. This movie is amazing, and it's an incredible accomplishment. I don't know if it said it in the trailer or if you guys could tell from the trailer, but it is all done in one unbroken shot. It's 134 minutes of one unbroken shot. It is a marvelous achievement, and then on top of that, it's also not just a trick or an achievement, it's a good movie. It's great characters, incredible performances, congratulations. I'm done with my ass kissing, now let's talk about the movie.
Thank you very much.
So, when did you realize that you wanted to do one unbroken shot, and how did you start crafting these characters and this story to fit that? Or what came first, the story and then the idea for the shot, or the shot and then the story?
No, you have a lot of ideas, and it's kind of your job to kind of differentiate the good ones from the not so good ones. So I had an idea. Actually, the first thing I ever had was I was daydreaming about robbing a bank.
Who doesn't do that?
Right, we all do that, And no, I was supposed to work and be a good boy. I was working on a script forever and ever. Actually, it took me years, and my mind did like everything to get away from that. So I don't write. And so I was fantasizing about a bank robbery, and I thought, if I would do that with one of my close buddies, that would form a total brotherhood. We couldn't tell anybody, blah, blah, blah. It was a daydream. And then I thought, next thought was kind of an idea, thought I could make a film about it, And I was amazed how much that did not amaze me. I just looked at all these years of working on the script again and all that. And so I put it away again, but then I kept thinking about, I sometimes think, if I would have been the driver in a bank robbery, the most boring bank robbery in the last 20 years in New Jersey or something, I don't know, it would still be one of the super high points of my life, till I die, So
even if you got away with it,
I get away with it. It would be the lamest thing for the cops. It wouldn't even go to the papers or whatever. But for me, 10 years later, my heart would still pound, And I thought, and that's probably where it sprung from. That I thought, why not shoot a heist movie about somebody that's a driver and keep it keep it low key, and through that intensify it. No kidnapping, no killing, not the most gold and all that, but to kind of create, create something that gives you the feeling how that would really feel, Right. And that's when that was the kind of idea that made me decide, okay, I'm going to try that.
And what I think is so important about the one unbroken take is how we get to that heist, that first act of getting to know these two characters as they sort of start to really feel their way through each other, and you're sort of sitting with them as they're kind of falling for each other. But first off, I have to ask you, Laia, shooting this movie, when you were told it was going to be one unbroken take, is that a challenge that you immediately said, I'm in, or did you have to take some time to think about it?
No, I said I'm in. They said to me, look, it's going to be one take, you're going to rob a bank, and you have to spend 3 months in Berlin. And I said, yeah, I'm in. Definitely. I don't want to know nothing else. It's fine.
So what was it like for you getting through the choreography and the rehearsals for that one take? Take me through the process for you.
And for me, it was funny, and it was a slow, very creative process, and it was kind of easy because you just have to be there, like focus on the story. And we worked a lot in the backgrounds of the roles and the backgrounds of the guys too, and the girl, and the story and the location. So I knew exactly what's going on in every set, in every location. So for me, this way of shooting, it was a very nice and a very easy way to go for it, you know? And I really had fun.
That always cracks me up because, you know, we've done a couple of interviews, and she always says, "Oh, it was easy." And I think that's just testament.
Meanwhile, you were pulling your hair out.
Yeah, I was dying. You know, I was sweating blood. And no, but that's testament to her talent. You know, I mean, I've said this before. I say it again. I think in her next life, Laia is going to be an astronaut or something, and she's going to go on to an impossible mission in space, and then she comes back, and everybody's going to be amazed, and she just says, "Oh, it was easy. I want to do it again." You know, you always say that.
I want to do it again.
You want to do another one?
Yeah, I'm asking him every morning, "Come on, dude, let's do it." And he's like, "No
I'm
way."
not going through that again. It was, you know, I'm sure somebody's going to pull it off again at some time. And of course, it's always about entertainment. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. It's a great thing. I love talking about that it's shot in one take, and you know, but it's by the end of the day, it is entertainment. And once you sit in your seat, you don't care if it's in one take or in 1,000 takes, as long as it's entertaining, you know, as long as it takes you along on the ride.
Absolutely. You're immersed. It's not something that you're consistently going, oh, one take to try to maintain interest.
Right.
It's a very compelling story. But going back to the one take thing again, your process in getting there, you know, she said 3 months. How many times did you rehearse it before you shot it? What made you realize you guys were ready to do this in one unbroken take?
What made me realize we were ready to do it? We were running out of money, you know. So no, we had money to do it 3 times, the entire thing, and it's kind of expensive, you know. I mean, we had a pretty regular size crew and team, and you know, we had to have, obviously, if you shoot the entire film in one take, you have to have all the locations, all the actors, all the extras. It all has to be there one night. You know, you have one first AD, and you have a cavalry of second ADs. You have 3 sound crews that alternate between the sets because we also boomed the film for great sound. And that's a pretty big enterprise for a small film. No, and we rehearsed. I think the core rehearsal we did, we cut the film down into like 10 pieces, like 10-minute pieces. Right. So for one night, we would shoot the first 10 minutes of the film in one take. Like she dances, goes outside the club, meets the boys, walks down the street, gets some beer, parties a little bit, cut. And then we would do that again. We would do that throughout the night, probably like 8 times, always in one take. So it was more that I told the guys and Laia what the scene is about, but I never told them what the lines were. Right. You know, this was based on 12 pages, because I believed that I wanted to do this in an oral way, you know, verbally. You know, I think one of the guys, the guy with the shaved head, you know, early on he said, "Oh, I didn't get the 12 pages." You know, and I was furious and talked to my production, said, "Why didn't he get, you know, the script?" And later on I found...
So he was on set and he didn't have...
I didn't get it. And only later did I learn he's the guy who would never open up his emails and never, you know, we printed it out. I think he did this film without even reading the 12 pages.
Is this Boxer?
Yeah, Franz.
I didn't read.
You didn't read it either?
The 12 pages.
See, I put all this love and work into my 12 pages, and they don't... No, but that's the great thing.
Wait, are you serious?
Completely serious.
We did an English translation for you.
It was 3 pages, my English translation. 3.
But here's the thing. And I know it's kind of cocky.
How the fuck did this work?
I know. No, but here's the thing. And I know it's a little cocky to say that. And, you know, but it's still true. I think scripts are overrated. I think scripts, and now, of course, there's 3 things that are important about a film. It's the script, and the script. That's cool. But I believe it's the story. And if the script is able to tell the story good, if not, you got to change stuff. And I think too much things we see, too much movies we see, just stick to what has been written on a dry, cold page, many months. Sometimes the script for some people becomes the book of answers and solutions. And so the moment you shoot the film and you never have enough time, you don't go into a collaboration with the actors and your cinematographer, but you just insist, like, say that line, say it a little louder, smile a little more, smile a little less, and that's all you do. And I also have an actor's background, and sometimes I have a feeling actors a little bit like, they're like beautiful animals that are being admired, and they live in a cage that's called the trailer, and then they're led from the cage trailer to the set circus and do their tricks and show their feathers, and then they're going back to their trailer, and of course, that doesn't always, some actors are so talented that even within this setup, they totally excel, but I wanted, to go a little, I wanted to open the cage and let them out, and honestly, yeah, that's what happened. We were on eye level with each other. So they didn't read my 12 pages, but in those 10 nights, I told them what's going on. I didn't tell them what to say, how to move, what face to draw, I told them fight, or flirt, or get to know each other, or have a panic attack. But the way they choose how they're going to communicate that, if they're going to talk, and what words they're going to use, it was totally up to them.
Right, because if there were lines of dialogue, specific lines of dialogue, you'd have the option of making a mistake. You'd have more of an opportunity to make a mistake, and you might become a bit more self-conscious while you're moving through this, right? Laia, were you ever worried when you were shooting this? You said you shot it 3 times all the way through. Did you end up shooting it 3 times all the way through?
Yeah.
Were all 3 runs pretty much solid?
Now it's going to be the second part of our personal discussion, because for me, the 3 are amazing. I had a really good time with the 3 of them, and at the end of the shooting, when they said to me, just stop walking, it's done, in the 3 of them, I was like, no, I just want to be here 5 more minutes, shut the fuck up. And it was amazing, For me, it was a really good experience, all of them. And I was so happy at the end of all of them. And actually, for me, the best one is the second one. And no one is going to see it, ever.
Is that true?
That is true. No one's going to see it ever. What?
You wouldn't show the other 2 runs?
No, I don't believe in the other 2 runs. I know we differ on this one, but if one of the other 2 ones would be the film, we would not sit here. We would not have this conversation. You guys wouldn't know about it ever. And I don't blame anybody. The first one was, so we did these 10 nights of shooting our 10-minute takes because it gave me the chance to kind of have a white lie and tell to everybody, okay, guys, we have the film, because my plan B was always to do a jump cut version. For, people gave me money. Nobody believed that we're actually going to shoot the film in 1 take. So I told them, if I can't pull it off, I'm going to give you a jump cut version that's still going to be wild and crazy and great, But, of course, in the back of my mind, I was totally aiming for the 1 take. So I said, guys, we have the film. Now let's have fun with our little 1 take thing, And I was hoping.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So you have 3 full 1 takes that could potentially be 3 films. Of the same story.
Yeah.
And then you also have the 10 separate
Yeah.
scenes shot and broken up that could be edited. So you have like 7 movies that you've made.
I have 7 movies. Only 1 is good, though. That's pretty good. That's pretty
the
good.
craziest thing I've ever heard.
And all of them have little changes. Yeah?
Really?
Because
there are a
also
lot.
in between the 1
Yeah.
takes, we changed
Like, for
scenes and characters.
We had to edit the film while we were shooting it, obviously. So normally, like, for example, there's a scene in a hotel towards the end of the film. There's a doctor in it. There used to be a doctor in it. Now, if you don't like the doctor because he doesn't add to the scene, you normally edit it out in the editing room. You go, I don't like the doctor. So you don't use any of the shots with the doctor in it. Of course, we couldn't do that. So in this film, I called the guy and said, dude, you're great, but you don't have to come back. On Sunday, we're going to shoot it without you, you know. So that was great on one level, but it was also under a very intense time pressure.
Yeah, actors always talk about the focus that it takes. That they have to be incredibly focused. When you're shooting something like this, are you focused on the next? Are you thinking about the next place that your character has to go? Is it hard for you to be in the moment and be reactive in the moment, or can you still do that?
No, I think when I was there, being her, I was just focused on what's going on right here, right now. I could not think about the next scene, you know? I could feel what I was feeling like right now. For example, when we are having the party in the club, I just want to be there like hours. So I listened his voice like, go, go, go. And I actually say I don't want to go to him in the movie, you know? So I was not feeling, you don't want to go because now the dark stuff is going to happen. No, I was thinking just, she's having so big fun right now. She's feeling so free. She just want to be here. So I just wanted to be there all the time. You know, I was not really thinking, I was just thinking some little technical things we had to keep in mind, you know, and like, I don't know, technical stuff, you know. And that's it. I just had to think one moment, oh my God, I'm peeing myself so badly, so I have to pee. That's the only moment when I thought...
Peeing yourself so badly.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody mentioned that to me. Said like, I don't believe that is a one take. They never have to go to the bathroom. And I said that to Laia. I said, you guys never had to go to the bathroom? And she said, yeah, I did. I was like, when?
There's one only moment when Victoria is not in front of the camera, and that's because that's the only moment I thought, oh God, now it's next this, I have to pee. So I just run away from the camera and I pee somewhere you don't want to know in front
That's
of
a little
lot
more
of
information
people,
than you guys need, right? But
So
yeah,
wait,
hey.
so
with
she
my
runs
micro like this, it was crazy.
So she runs away from the camera to go to the bathroom.
Oh, this is the thing. The club you see in the film is a set.
Yeah.
You know, it's our club. We created it.
It's a great scene. It's a great opening.
Yeah. No, I mean, while we were shooting, there were drunk British tourists coming in and ordering a beer because it didn't look like a set to them. I mean, there was a guy with a camera somewhere, but I think for them it was just a club where there's a guy with a camera. So we had everything a club has. So Laia decided to use the bathroom there, which
was not a bathroom.
was not a bathroom really, but now you know everything. More than you wanted. You know it now.
Laia, as you're rehearsing these and you're doing the 10 different scenes up until the nights where you're going to do the full 3, had you and I don't remember his name, the other actor that you're mostly interacting with, that you're sort of falling for?
Frederick Lau?
Yeah.
Zonne.
Whose
character's name is Zonne, yeah.
Who's fantastic in the film. Are you and him changing your scene a little bit for yourself? Are you remembering certain things that you did together and trying to hit those things again? Or are you trying to sort of clear yourselves completely going into every next
We
run?
had 2 rules from Sebastian's direction. It was you cannot repeat the same action and you cannot repeat the same sentence. I mean, you cannot repeat ever. Right, in the rehearsals and in the one takes, everything has to be
because I didn't
real.
want them to stress themselves out at all. And we just had, heard about that. And no, that was really important that they don't put together the best of compilation in their heads and then they tick boxes again. What I needed them to do, and that's really that was the core challenge of this movie. I told them, some people say, oh, it's like theater. It's not like theater. I love the theater, but it's a very artificial situation. You have a stage, you have an audience, you can speak, and you have, you create something. Within this context, the camera smells if you're lying. So you might think, oh, it's documentary style shot, so it's going to look more authentic. The very opposite is the case. It smells if something is wrong. So what I was telling them is, don't perform, don't show me your talent, but go in. I can only feel what you feel. And if it's just a replication, so I told them, don't repeat anything good. That just go in and let it happen and don't think about best of moments you had in the rehearsals, you know. And that Laia and Laia was totally excelling on this, and the guys too. But when the fewer times they were on camera, the harder it was for them to do. So that was really something I had to push for, because the first take, nobody wanted to mess it up. It's a little bit like when you guys watch soccer and it ends 0-0. You know, you guys kind of go like, what? You know, why am I watching this?
I'm bored. I don't want to watch 0-0.
Like, and I don't know. And that what it was for me, you know, it was we did the thing, we did the stunt, not entertaining. Then I said, guys, don't be afraid of chaos, of mistakes. Go, go, go. And they went. And, I mean, they brought in all their partying expertise into the movie, and it's Laia's.
What does that mean?
That's Laia's favorite
Second
take.
is my favorite one take.
Wait, what is?
My favorite one take is the second.
The
that
second.
That
Why is that?
one.
Well, why is that your favorite?
I don't know. Look, I'm just the actress, you know. I mean, I'm inside the whole movie, so I was never able to see the material. I saw it for the first time in Berlinale. So I'm not objective to say that. It just was a feeling. I don't know. For me and Freddie, the second one was like, oh, that was super cool. Yeah, we did it. Yeah. But I cannot really say it is for sure the best one. So I trust him.
It was crazy. It was totally out of proportion and going crazy on many levels that was not productive. You know, it's an improvisation. And at first, it a little bit sounds like an improvisation means everybody's doing what they want. Well, that's not the case. There's a lot of rules to improvisations. You know, I don't know, everybody thinks of free jazz. I'm sure if you start playing some Van Halen on your saxophone while everybody else is playing free jazz, they're all going to stop and go, dude, this is free jazz. You shouldn't do that, you know. So there's always strict rules. And in the second take, they broke these rules and neglected them. And so it wasn't a great jam session anymore, but it was chaos.
What would have happened? I mean, if that's how you felt after the second session, what would have happened for you if the third session didn't go as well as it went? You only had money for 3 sessions. Would you have cut everything together?
Yes. Here's the thing.
You had a backup plan.
I had a plan B. I had a plan B, and the plan B is a jump cut version. Here's the thing, though. The typical, I mean, in a bank robbery, I believe, you know, I had some technical advisors who told me, you know, how it was when they robbed the bank, to be honest. And, you know, a plan B in a bank robbery is you get out, you have no money, but you get away. That's the plan B. So for me, here's the thing, though. After the second take, first one really lame, second one really stupid, and we had money for one last one. So it was 48 hours before we shot this last take. I, for the first time, had the chance to see this jump cut version. You know, this really crazy, thrown together edit of the film. It didn't work. It was so flat. It was horrible. It was dead. And then I knew we have one chance. And I'm not making this up because I'm promoting this film. I swear, it was, you know, I've been doing this for a while. I've been an actor. This is my 4th film. These 48 hours were the worst time I ever had creating anything. Yeah. Because, and what came in was a charge of aggression, tension, attack. Now, we were very functional as a group by then, but it was like, it felt like halftime, and we're down by whatever sport you were talking about. We're behind. We being blown apart, and we knew we had one last chance, and that created a great tension.
Did you give a good locker room pep talk?
I did a, what do you call it, hairdryer speech, and
yeah,
a lot of spit. You know, a lot of spit coming out of my mouth. No, because I was like, what are you waiting for? Why are you lame or crazy? You're great. You know, be great. Don't be shy and good boying it. We're not in school. This is not about getting an A. Are you crazy? If we wanted to get an A, we wouldn't do this crazy stuff. But it's also not about being brainless idiots who forgot what the game is about and the rules, you know. And they pulled it off, and that's something that still really touches me, because you can give all the speeches you want and invent all the ideas you want, but to really see people do it, it's tremendous.
Was this halftime? Was this speech shocking to you since you loved the second take so much? Were you like, I thought we got it. What is this?
She wasn't there.
I wasn't there. It was a speech for the guys. So I was there 1 hour later, they met. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
No, I didn't. It was, Laia was always, she's amazing. And like everybody in the film is amazing. You know, people work on different ways. You know, you can't talk if you're a director or a good coach, and sometimes the directing of this film did feel like I'm a coach. You can't talk to everybody the same way. You know, and that was a guy's moment. You know, it was a little about the guys, and it was a guy's moment. Laia was always on top of her game.
Well, you also had a different job than they had. I mean, you're reacting to their craziness a lot of the time, and I think it is a fine line between what's crazy and entertaining and reads on camera and what just feels like actors acting crazy.
Yes,
you know?
yes. No, and that's sometimes, you know, I think if I had to decode why Laia loves the second take so much and I don't, I would say they had a great time. It's just not so interesting watching.
Right. I think we have some time for audience questions. Does anyone have any questions here in the audience? Someone's got something they want to ask.
Hi there. Congratulations, first of all. This is a film I really want to see. What's one takeaway that you could offer to a crazy director that thinks he's going to do this as well? One piece of advice that they need to hear.
Don't do it. No, seriously, it's a total brainless idea. And I'm not even kidding. Now, if ever anybody's going to pull this off again, I've said this before, I say it again, they're going to bleed for it. They're going to sweat, they're going to cry, they're going to wet their pants. And because that's what I did, I'm not going to lie about it. And I don't know. Honestly, you got to, if you want to do it, you got to do it against better advice. If you need me, you know, to say, yeah, go for it, if you don't, you have to go against me. You know, you have to go against better advice, and you have to be a little cocky and say, I don't care, I'm going to do it. It's like, what advice would I give you to rob a bank? Like, don't do it.
If someone is going to do it, please call here.
Call her, right. She's
Next
the true
question.
bank robber. You need a driver? I mean, for a movie or for life? Call her.
Yeah. Hi there. Yeah, it's a great film. I was lucky enough to see it last night, a screening, and just amazing. And I was just curious. I know you had 3 goes at it, and you were talking about sweating blood and all that. Where was the line, like, for you with your actors, like, for the improvising? You know, like, were you just kind of like, you know, prepping along the way? Were you kind of in the background, like, doing anything, or did you just let them kind of, you know, go for it?
No, I let them go for it because the moment we shoot, it's like the game starts. I'm on the sideline, and I realize it's important that I watch them, that I'm there, you know, that I can say something. But the core work we do before. We talk about, you know, I can't micromanage. You know, normally directing is micromanage everything, like on a daily level for weeks and months, you know. And that I couldn't do here. But if you really look at it, and that's what I'm thinking now, looking back on it, sometimes I think the powers of a director are overrated. You know, you think you can micromanage everything, but what does that really lead to? Because what you really want is the heart and soul of a performance and of your collaborators. Nobody's ever going to come out of a cinema and say, oh, I love this movie. They made no mistakes. That is just not the case. You want passion, and you want a certain kind of presence, and that you will only get if you also let them move and breathe and find the right tone where they feel strong and comfortable. So then we're talking about the core, about the dark current of what the collaboration between a director and an actor really is. And there you can do a lot, you know, but say this line louder or smile while saying it, or that is, I think, that can even confuse what really is going on, because then you're micromanaging, and then the conversation you have with your actor is not very interesting for neither of you, you know, so that is not going to be inspiring.
I couldn't agree
Can
more.
I help? Is that kind of answering your question?
I couldn't agree more. One of the things, I mean, in the trailer, and I think we were talking about this for a minute, people have been comparing this a bit to Birdman, but I think one of the major differences, and which makes me sort of appreciate Victoria a little bit more, is that Birdman is so much about the technical achievement. It's about maintaining focus. It's about It's about the way that the camera is swooping through still, where this film, you know, it goes out of focus at times. It's raw. You're capturing raw performance in real time, which is a much more daring, beautiful thing in my opinion. It's not a professional thing. It's an artistry. It's something that's experimenting and challenging. Anyway, next question.
No, I also want to. I think Birdman is a crazy film, and I love films that come from kind of left fieldish, you know. So I think the one take thing is really, I don't know if that's the connection, but I appreciate the film and the project so much because it comes from, it's not a reference film. You know, so many films are like, oh, this is a film, it's a little bit like Godfather, or it's a little bit like Born Identity, or it's a little bit like 2001. And what that little bit like always means is not as good, you know. So I think too many films are maybe done in reference or built on the DNA from some other project, and Birdman certainly is not, you know. And I think that's testament to what cinema should be. That you, of course, you have a plan, but you're also going in for the experience and for the enterprise and for the craziness. That while doing it, it's going to grow. It's going to become what it is.
Absolutely. Last question.
Hi. So for both of you, as an actress and as a director, if you were doing this film again, is there anything that you would do differently?
I'm not going to do it again, so you're going to answer that.
No, I loved the process we did. I love this way of working from your instincts, but knowing what's going on and knowing what you have to do. And for me, the 3 takes, I did different stuff in the 3 of them. Although I was following the same story and I was living in the same skin, you know. But if I could do it again, that's something I would love to do. I think I would just take it as I took it there, you know. Just like something new, we know what's going on, let's go and enjoy it.
And actually, I think something that Laia was, you know, I once, you know, I started out working as an actor. And when I was in acting school, I had a very small part in King Lear. You know, I had to run on stage and say, oh, Gloucester is dead. I was a messenger. I was very nervous. And one night I talked to the old guy who played King Lear, you know, back in Germany, in Munich, whatever, a really old guy. I think he was in his 80s or late 70s. And he told me, you know what they should teach you at acting school is on stage, you are safe. And that really amazed me. I could never really do it as an actor. But of course, you know, going on stage is, for a lot of people, it creates a lot of anxiety. But once you maybe went through this wall and realized you can really be on stage, maybe you can really be who deep down you really are, because you're not surrounded by all the everyday rules. And I think that's what Laia kind of maybe pre-consciously knew or was doing, that she felt safe in this context where maybe most other people would freak out, you know.
Absolutely. Guys, congratulations on the film. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Go see Victoria. See the movie.